First up, let's give it up. Big Rock Church welcome for Hannah. Ready to go? Yeah. Brilliant. Here you go.
Ready as can be. Hi guys, so thank you all for being here today. I would like to share my testimony with you all. Here we go. So, I was not raised from a religious or Christian family, but I was always taught to respect and to be kind to anyone I crossed paths with, no matter the race, religion or culture. I'm from Newark, for those who don't know, where a lot of the Newark community is also gypsies. The majority of the time, non-gypsies didn't really mix with the gypsies, but not me. One of my bestest friends was a gypsy called Angel. Angel used to go to what I would call the gypsy church every week, where all the gypsy kids would get picked up on a bus and taken there. Me being me, intrigued and open-minded, I asked to go one day, being the only non-gypsy to attend. I can't really remember understanding anything that was being said in church, but I absolutely loved the singing worship part of the service. Around this time, I was 14 years old, and I had my first boyfriend, whose mum was a Christian, and I would see her doing weekly Bible studies with her girlfriends and going to church every Sunday. I still never really understood it, but I respected it. Fast forward a few years later to when something big and life-changing happened, I remember thinking, is God really real? I saw firsthand how Jesus and faith had really helped people get through the darkest of times, which felt quite unreal until I saw it for myself. At the age of 16, I went to college in Nottingham, where I met new friends, a group of them who were Christian girls. I still at this point didn't believe, as I always used to say, I can't believe if I physically can't see it or touch it. But then I got told, Hannah, that's what faith is. You just believe. Still going through this life-changing part of my life, facing a lot of grown-up stuff. My Christian friends would send me songs of worship, and they didn't even know how encouraging and helpful this was to me at the time. I fell in love with worship songs, and I felt all the words speaking directly to me. And although I still didn't believe, I knew something had to be true, as the way they used to make me feel inside was something that normal music had never made me feel. Fast forward 2 years, age 18, I moved all the way down to Brighton. A lot had happened in my life in those previous 2 years, and moving there was one of the best things I did at that time. I lived my life to the fullest, and as some do, we try new things. And one I tried that stuck with me longer than I ever wanted, which was smoking weed. I started smoking this to stop me overthinking and to sleep, and as I was in a very unhealthy relationship, which it worked a treat for me. I got to sleep. Until nearly 10 years later, at the age of 28, I found myself still smoking it. I had wanted and tried to quit before, which I did. I quit for 3 months, and then after a stressful day at work, I started again. When I first quit, I had such bad withdrawals, profusely sweating at night in my sleep, no appetite, and the list goes on. In December 2024, I had my second lash appointment with Chanel. I don't know how, but we got talking about Jesus and how Jesus had saved her. I had never felt such a natural encounter with someone where the whole appointment we just spoke about God. I had tears streaming down my cheeks while Chanel was trying to put lashes on me. I just really related to everything Chanel was telling me. Bear in mind, she didn't know that since being with my now partner, Nigel, 3 years ago, I had told him I wanted to go to church, but I had no friends that would go to church with me until I met Chanel. She invited me to go to church that Sunday. No hesitation, I went. I had no idea what to expect or what I was walking into, but I can honestly say it was the best thing I did. At the end of the service, I got asked, so how did you find it? And I remember saying, it just felt like home, it feels right. And never had I felt that way going into something with new people that I had never met before. They really say, and it is true, it was all in God's perfect timing. The night before church was the last time I smoked weed, and I had not had one withdrawal this time around. I know now that I had the strength of Jesus within me to not to go back to these bad habits that served no purpose in my life. I had no want for it, and overnight I just stopped. In the past, I used to use the word energy a lot for my gut instinct on anything. I was good at never allowing darkness to get too close to me, and I always seemed to find the light in the darkest of tunnels. I know now that this had always been the Holy Spirit within me. My friends say to me, Hannah, you're always so positive. And now knowing what I do, which can I say the basics of Christianity and knowing Jesus, I had always been doing good habits of being a Christian woman. I have just completed the 10-week Alpha course with Pastor Ali and our little group, and I've enjoyed every Monday night on Zoom at 8 p.m. learning and discussing all about Jesus and Christianity. There are so many questions that could still be asked, but I don't need all the answers now. I just know that I believe. I feel so blessed and grateful to be here and to be here where I am today, and to show my friends and family my love and commitment to Jesus by being baptized. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Stay there a minute. So good. And I just want to pick up on that. It's been so good getting to know Hannah and Charlie. They've both been on the Alpha course. And this last couple of months, I've felt like 20 years younger being around these people. Still grey, but you guys have really benefited me just being around you. So thank you for coming on. And, we look forward to the next stage. So give her a hand again and welcome up Charlie as well. Keep the applause going. Charlie's very interesting. I love Charlie. Charlie, on Monday nights, we do Alpha Online, this version, and right from the start, he keeps saying, Charlie, you on Zoom, you look around the screen, you look who's fidgeting, who's unmuted himself, who's ready to say something. And Charlie's always ready to go, but he's so respectful, doesn't he? He's still waiting. Every time I go Charlie, you got something to say? And every time it'd be well, I just don't want to take over. In fact, the two guys who are on there are exactly the same. You and Courtney, you have so much to say, but it's been a pleasure to get to know you. So tell us a little bit about your backstory.
I'm Charlie. I'm born at the QMC, just down the road. So I've lived here my whole life. Sort of similar to Hannah. I've never really had much of a religious background. My mum was christened as a child. She's Roman Catholic, but she never really was too into it. I probably went to church half a dozen times when I was a kid, but it was never forced onto me, so I never really went along with it. Obviously, I want to thank everyone for being here as well. It's quite an important chapter in my life. This is, and it's. If you come to me a year ago, I would have never expected to be here. I was living a life of sin. I was, drinking. I was going out. Just doing the usual, uni student stuff. And then I met Sophie about 8 months ago at work. We worked together, and then, she invited me down to church. Me and Ali argued a few weeks ago when the actual date was, because I seem to have forgotten, but I believe it was December. I think it was you. Yeah. It was. No, it was the carol service at Ruddington. I believe. I thought it was earlier, but that's what he believes. But anyway, I'll get on to my testimony now. I'll stop talking. Yeah, as I was saying, a portion of my life, I did spend a little bit of time at church, but it was never something that I took too seriously. My mum was, she did drugs when I was a child, and she never really had much of a job, so she's got a condition called underactive thyroid as well, so she has to take medication for that, so she's all, a bit all over the place sometimes, and I think, but having that, maybe my childhood wasn't, completely together, if that makes sense. So I think that certainly helped me become the person I am today. I was, nursing myself through a lot of stuff. So this obviously, I'm going to lead on to coming to church for the first time in December of last year. I was invited by the Crisp family, and it was. as soon as I came in, I was greeted with a hug, some chocolate as well, which is obviously a nice bonus. I probably had a few. I probably had a few in my time. But yeah, it was my first encounter. Obviously, we were singing the carols, and I just felt like the warmth. You know, like you know when you're in front of the fire at home, or you're getting a hug from a family member or something. It just felt like that, and it just felt like that was what I was missing, if that makes sense. And it just felt, like normal, like I was supposed to be there. Like a sense of freedom, if you will. And, just talking to people, coming to church every now and then when I'm not at work. And it's just made me realize that everything's led to this moment the last few months. And, I can't be happier with the outcome so far. Life since meeting Jesus and coming to church has been amazing. I've met amazing people, Hannah, Chanel, Ali, Courtney, Sarah, from the Alpha group, John and Irene, the Crisp family. And I'll wrap it up because I'm talking too much. The reason I wanted to be baptized, and I've spoken to the Alpha group about this when I think it was a couple of weeks ago when we was talking about something similar. And I also spoke to Kathy about it the other week as well. It's because I want it to be an example for when I want to grow a family. I want there to be proof of the person I want them to be. And I don't want them to have the same childhood I had. I think as much as I don't have any regrets. I don't think my family brought me up badly, but I want them to have a stability that I never really had. And I think coming to church is amazing for anyone that wants to experience it if you're coming here for the first time as well. But when I started reading the Bible a few months ago, first on my phone and then I brought a physical one, I started with the Gospels, John to be specific, and in chapter 3 verse 16 is the verse that says, "For this is how God loved the world, he gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not only perish but have eternal life." And I want him to see today, looking down on us, that I belong to him. And anyone else that is thinking about getting baptized, it will be proof that you all belong to him. And any worries I've had when I was growing up, any worries that I will have, I will not have to face them alone anymore. I will have Jesus alongside me. And I can't wait for him to guide me wherever he takes me, and I can't wait to be there alongside him every step of the way. Thank you.
Amazing. You can take a seat. Thank you very much, both of you. Incredible, different but similar-ish testimonies, and we celebrate with you in this moment.